Hey, everybody, welcome to Review with Me, your review guide of shows, movies, and everything in between. Be sure to click the like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on with this review. All right, we are back. Hello, hello. I am your host, Maxine. We are reviewing Ready to Love Season 10, Episode 10. I feel like this has been the longest season of my life. My life. Because what? First, we had that whole 3-month hiatus because they could only play one black show at a time on OWN. So when the new season of Never Ever Meant came on, Ready to Love went off. And then with the Labor Day break that we had, there was no new episode. Enough. Enough. I need this to be wrapped up. I feel like this was a great season as far as the contestants, the dynamics between everyone, just the drama, the not so dramatic moments. Everything was great. Like they had the formula, but the execution failed for this season and it's pretty unfortunate. So hopefully they get it together next season. Anyway, let's get into it. We are reviewing season 10, episode 10 of Ready to Love. We start off with Angie and Cam talking yet again. And Angie is yet again at the chopping block, okay? And it's her and Deanna? Yeah, Deanna. Cam is trying to tell Angie, look, I don't like that you are proudly breaking car windows. I don't like that you go crazy like that. You know, if a man does you wrong, I feel like you shouldn't go crazy. Now, though I feel like doing all of that is immature, is unnecessary, at the same time, I understand Angie's perspective, right? Like you can't disrespect me and then get mad at me when I meet your disrespect with disrespect. So I feel like Angie has a point there. What I don't think is okay is Angie's demeanor regardless about it. Right? I think at a certain point you have to know how to regulate your emotions and execute it in a way that is mature and that is something that you have something and you're carrying yourself as if you have something to lose. It's one thing to be young and reckless, you and if you don't have any children and you don't have a career or just a life that you've built for yourself that could be taken away from you or limited or just dramatically changed because you want to crash out because a nigga cheated on you. I get it. Cheating can be heartbreaking and all of that, but I think the propaganda of cheating needs to be discussed. And I don't know how we even got here, but let's just go through it. Because I think because of the media that we have no choice but to watch, right? Like we have to be succumbed to certain movies and TV shows and social media content that forces us to fall and cry in a corner and ball up in a ball up in a corner because your man decides to step out in the relationship. We have been conditioned to react in a particular way in those circumstances. Had we been brought up or indoctrinated in a society that did not encourage women to crash out when men quote unquote cheat and when men decide to entertain other women, then I think the dynamic and the connection between men and women will be stronger. I feel like the division that is had readily um available and prominent between men and women has a lot to do with the propaganda of how we should react as women to men who cheat on us. We're forced to believe this lazy label of once a cheater, always a cheater, or if he cheats on you, he doesn't love you. Not understanding the compartmentalizing, that word is hard, but not understanding that you can't compartmentalize relationships, right? Like mothers, parents who have multiple children. You having an additional child doesn't take away the love that you have for your firstborn. It doesn't take away the love that you have for your third child, right? So I say all that to say we have been victims of a society, of a culture that made women believe if a man says he loves you, yet he also feels love for another woman, that means his love for you is insufficient. That means you have low self-esteem if you stay. That means yada, yada, yada. And I'm telling you, that is a lie. I think, and I know, and I believe, and I trust that a man and a woman, but I'm speaking from a standpoint of me dating men, right? Me romantically dating a man. Me and Freckles Bay. Yeah, I know last episode, this review with me, I talked about like us kind of like, I'm done, I'm single, whatever, blah, blah. I was just having an emotional dysregulation moment, but we're still together. Me and Freckles Bay are still together, and it's working great, and we've communicated and all these great things. But I say all that to say, I think sometimes we shorten ourselves and believe that if he chooses to engage in another romantic relationship, then that takes away from the relationship that he has with you. I was going somewhere with something that I said previously, but I forget. The point is, I think we have to break out of it. Let's get back to this review. But let me know what y'all think about that. Seriously, I really think we need to stop falling for the okie doke. Anyway, we'll talk about that some more for sure organically. But I really do want us to move past this idea of this limited way of loving and being loved. So Deanna gets eliminated. Khalil eliminates her, tells her that she's not ready to love. Before he says that, he says he feels like she's hard to read. And sir, that is not an exclusive feeling for you, Khalil. I feel that way. You feel that way. The next person, your mama feels that way. Deanna, I don't know what time she thought she was on for this episode or for this show, but she wasn't ready to love. She wasn't ready to love. Not at all. Not at all. She's talking about she still feels like she's ready to love, but she's learning about herself that she needs to soften up. Why did you get that before? Why did you know about, I don't know, and good. I'm glad that she has gained, according to her confession, I'm glad that she has gained some insight. But yeah, like throughout this whole getaway, she was standoffish. She's never shown a flirtatious side to herself. And maybe she's just not that into these men. So there's that. But nonetheless, bye. Khalil though. So what's her name? Tay. Tay talk. This is Tay, right? This is the standout photo and standout scene for this episode. So this will be the standalone photo for this review. Tay talking about she feels conflicted with her connections. Her connection being with Cisco, that's obvious. Their connection is tangible. Like you could feel it through the screen. And that's great. Good for her. And I think it's beautiful when people find a connection with someone, whether we agree with the connection or not, right? And we'll talk about that. But she also says she has a connection with Khalil. And I want to know where. I want to see if I can find it underneath this table, behind my computer. Maybe it's behind my door. Because what connection do you say you have with Khalil? And I want to understand why. Why Khalil hasn't truly been someone's top pick. And I feel like he's aesthetically pleasing, like he looks good, he takes care of himself. He doesn't have any children. And not to say men who have children ain't shit, but I'm just saying it's preferred for you to not have any. Especially with Tay, who doesn't have any as well. So it just looks even better. And I know some single mothers who still would rather date men who don't have any children. So the point is, Khalil looks like a great catch. I feel like I could presume that I feel like he doesn't lead with sexiness enough. I feel like he doesn't lead with flirtation. Maybe he's a little bit of a Diana in that sense. Uh and I think that is what has held him back from seeing him be a romantic figure in someone's life. That's my opinion. But anyway, we they get to playing this group game. Never have I ever had a dildo in my mouth. Type of, those silly games. Like, what are we talking about? Well, anyway, I'm just scurrying along talking about the main point. So Khalil ends up talking to Tay, letting her know, hey, I don't want to have children until 4 years from now, at minimum, 4 or 5 years from now. I want to focus my energy on traveling, on our relationship, and that's where my focus lies. Immediately, Tay has an attitude, and you could tell. And this is it looks like it's the morning time. She has a mimosa. Her eyes look like she still woke up, and you could tell she has an attitude, and she's annoyed. And she said, "Why didn't you tell me this in the beginning? Why didn't you let me know? You know I want children in the next year." She didn't say year, but she said 2 years. But the way that she said it though made it seem like, I want children like tomorrow. Like, girl, first of all, huh? This timeline that people have when it comes to wanting children and starting a relationship with someone new and then immediately saying, I want to have kids now, I think is laughable. Sometimes, yes, it works. Don't get me wrong. But in a case like this, where a lot of them aren't necessarily thinking like this show is not set up for them to get married by the end of this season. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a Love is Blind. It's not a Married at First Sight. No, this show, yeah, sure, we would like for you to get married, and they encourage um a one-on-one relationship, right? But this show is not designed to, okay, at the end of this episode you have to propose to your connection, and it doesn't lead to marriage oftentimes. I don't even think out of all the seasons there's only been one, and their name is slipping for me, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The couple who is now on another reality show, Love and Marriage DC. Anyway, the point is this show doesn't lead to marriage, okay? So she's speaking in a sense of, and not to say you obviously can't have, no, of course you could have kids before marriage or without marriage, don't get me wrong. But the point is, Tay talking future minded as if she was talking this talk with Cisco, as if Cisco was on the same page and he was in the running because, yes, they have a strong connection, but he was already in agreement with having kids like tomorrow. So I feel like Tay ultimately didn't really like Khalil like that. And Khalil telling her, hey, I won't be interested in having kids until 4 or 5 years from now, that was an easy way out. That was an excuse for her to really be sure about eliminating him as a connection of hers. So we get to the scene between Jay and Kiera. Kiara's still in her feelings. She's upset and giving Jay a hard time since he was filling up on Sahara's booty. And not only doing that, but also doing it in a public setting. So she's feeling embarrassed. She's looking embarrassed. I get it. Understandable. Jay's not understanding why she's so upset. He feels like, well, it's no sneaky shit. We're outside, like we're doing it in the in the living room. And it's like, sir, I don't care where you was rubbing her booty. You rubbing her booty. But his mindset is, I'm not trying to hide it from you. I'm not lying to you. So that's a little weird. And I think with Jay, maybe he struggles with actually owning his faults, or really succumbing to saying I'm sorry. But this was a long moment of contention that was unnecessary. And I think Kiera didn't help herself either. But anyway, we get to the scene and Kiera's still holding him to the fire. She actually pushes him to a corner and says, call her over. Like, does she know that you're not that really, like, that you're not that into her? So Jay does what a loser man does. And I say loser man in a sense of, even if, like, say if he really did have a connection with Sahara, and we know that he doesn't. He said that he doesn't, and he kind of plays flirt with Sahara, but it's nothing serious to a point where Sahara could really consider him as a strong connection. But what I don't like about it is, don't let your woman, whether your main chick, whomever, I don't care, don't let her tell you what to do where you're pulling another woman into the mix and disrespecting her in front of your main woman to make her feel rest assured. I think you're a loser for that. I think you're a coward, and I think you're corny for that. Because I feel like your words should be enough to your girl in saying, I already said what I said to you. I'm letting you know you're my woman. I'm connected. I'm connected to you. I choose you. Whether you want to accept that or not, that's on you. But I'm not going to bring another woman into our conversation right now, disrespect her in front of you just to make you feel good about yourself. That's your personal problem. And I feel like Jay lost a lot of points here, just in my perspective, just as a man. You look corny, and you appear as a man who gets told what to do by a woman, gets treated like a doll, and she's controlling every move you make just to make her feel rest assured. I thought that was really corny of her, of him and her. But anyway, he succumbed to it. Sahara comes out, and I feel like Sahara, I cringed for her. I really felt bad for her. She's trying to hold her ground and say, okay, well, you made it seem like you liked me, or you made it seem like you was into me. Jay's telling her, look, I never liked you. I never cared for you. I don't know what you was talking about. You ain't shit to me, and you ain't never gonna be shit to me. What? You were just rubbing on my booty 2 hours ago. Okay. Sahara, I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised Sahara conducted herself with better class in this moment than I would have expected her to. But I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed. I would have even stayed long enough for him to even say that. I would have been like, you know what? I'm not a part of this conversation. If he's your main connection and she's yours, great. I'm happy for you. But we don't have to have a conversation, us three together. And would have walked my ass out. Because who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? So yeah, he disrespected her. And I feel like Kiera was whack for that too. Like, why would you even put another woman in that situation just to make yourself feel better over a man with, I don't know what type of acne he has or scars, but it's never that deep. Anyway, who has a pop? I'm trying to skate through it. I'm looking at some scenes just to remind myself because it's been so damn long. Cam talking about he has sexual chemistry with Angie. Where is his sex? I want to see them kiss. I don't see much. I don't see much kissing going on this season. Only kissing I've seen is between Tay and Cisco, hence this scene right here, and Tay with that other guy with the ponytail and the 5 baby mamas, or 3 baby mamas and 5 kids. Did she kiss him? But they were flirting. She was sitting on his, well, she had her feet on his lap. That was just the only moment I could think of physical attraction, of physical enjoyment. Anyway, we see a scene between Tay and Cisco. Cisco is straddling Tay from the back as he's giving her a massage. You know, a massage is the easiest way to get some back. A massage is the easiest way to get some pussy. Okay? She's on that massage bed with her sports bra. Girl, if you don't get butt naked, if you don't get butt naked for this hunk of love, I mean, Cisco's fine. I get it, girl. I get it. Anyway, but look, I understand people are ripping her a new one because people feel like, why would you choose Cisco? He's in a transitional house, or he's in a room. He lives in a room. Transitional house sounds like he was a drug addict and he just getting sober. That's not what I mean. He lives in a room. And look, I hope by reunion time we see an upward mobility so strong from Cisco that all of us, no, well, not really me. I haven't really been kicking his back in, but a lot of y'all reviewers have been kicking his back in. I hope by reunion time we see him, and believe him too, but we see his upward mobility, and y'all could eat crow. Okay, y'all could eat crow. So they're vibing, they kiss, they're hugging. It's a done deal. We know that they are going to leave with each other, but we'll see by reunion if they stay with each other. You know how it is. You know how it is. So we get to a scene between, what's her name? Rose and Anwar. What's his name? I said Anwar. He looks like an Anwar. Hussein looks like an Anwar. Is this the scene when she gives him a shirt? The dress is nice. I just think Rose, I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of read her. I feel like she does try to present herself as this, I'm a perfect fit for you, right? I'm the great match for you. I cater to you. I'm nurturing. I cook. I clean. I get you clothes. I take care of you. And remember that scene with her ex, and he's talking about, yeah, she's too caring. That's the problem. She's too caring. What? She's too caring. That's the problem. So the ladies have the power. Kiera's talking about she doesn't really know about Jay, and she just felt disrespected after the whole Sahara situation. It ends with, I feel like was it a cliffhanger? No, it wasn't a cliffhanger. Jay does apologize yet again. And yeah, it's between Jay and Khalil at the end. Jay apologizes yet again. Kiera finally accepts it much better this time, which is good, I guess. But she's still kind of like, okay, trying to still give him a hard time. That hood love shit. And then we get Khalil, and I believe he is told he's not ready to love. I'm not playing it again, but I'm trusting that. Yeah, he's told he's not ready to love. And it's not even that he's not ready to love. It's these women aren't ready to be loved by him. I think Khalil is a great match, and he'll I'm sure his DMs are popping 10. Okay, I don't know what these women don't see in him, but I mean, my presumption again is just he doesn't lead with much romance or sexiness or anything like that. But anyway, we ended off there, y'all. Let me know what you think about this episode of Ready to Love, season 10, episode 10. Make sure you are subscribed. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.